Namaste children, welcome back in SSC class. Today we are going to learn chapter 14. This is regional powers. Yes, this chapter is concerned to history, and in this chapter we are going to learn about the regional powers of 15th century. Children, first of all, I would like to clarify the meaning of this regional power. Regional power is a term used for a state that has power within a geographical region. The beginning of Delhi Sultanate had begun from the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq is a very well known character. In the last chapter we have learned about him and also about his projects. The sultans were not able to provide effective supervision over the southern provinces. So the result was that during the 15th century, many independent kingdoms emerged in India. Foremost among them were Vijayanagar, Bahmani, Ahom, Mewar, Marwar and Kashmir. Let's have a look on the map. First of all, this Vijayanagar empire, here Vijayanagar, then comes the Bahmani kingdom. Then comes Ahom. Then comes the Mewar and Marwar in western side. Let's move to Kashmir. Here, Kashmir. So these 6 names, Vijayanagar, Bahmani, Ahom, Mewar, Marwar and Kashmir, were the regional powers of that very period. Let's learn about them. First of all, let's know about the history of Vijayanagar Empire. Vijayanagar kingdom was founded by 2 sons of Sangam named Harihar and Bukka in 1336 CE. With the inspiration of their guru Vidyaranya, they established an independent Hindu state of Vidyanagar or Vijayanagar on the banks of river Tungabhadra. Children, this Vijayanagar is earlier known as Vidyanagar because this was established by the inspiration of the guru of Harihar and Bukka. The guru was named Vidyaranya, and due to the inspiration from their guru Vidyaranya, they established an independent Hindu state. That was Hindu state, and at that time it was known as Vidyanagar or Vijayanagar, and it was established on the banks of river Tungabhadra. It is now called Hampi. Both the brothers dominated the whole of Hoysal territories with the assistance of their 3 brothers. Bukka succeeded his brother Harihar in 1356 CE. He ruled up to 1377 CE. During this period, he expanded his hold further. Now comes the second phase of this Vijayanagar Empire. First of all, let's memorize the name of these 2 characters. First is King Krishnadev Rai and the second is Tenali. That this Krishnadev Rai and Tenali Rama is very famous in history. Bukka succeeded his brother Harihar in 1356 CE. He ruled up to 1377 CE. During this period, he expanded his hold further. Do you know, children, this Krishnadev Rai used to dress up as a common man and roam around his kingdom at night to know the problems of his subjects. So what does this line shows? These lines shows that King Krishnadev Rai was very much affectionate to his people, and he was very much caring. That's why he used to dress up as common man and roam at night around his kingdom to know the problems and to know the real problems of his subjects, means the people. Then Tenali Ram, whose stories children loved to read and listen, was the chief minister of King Krishnadev Rai. So Harihar and Bukka, they started to rule over Vidyanagar or Vijayanagar. Now comes the second phase of Dev Rai I and Dev Rai II. These two were the famous rulers of Vijayanagar Empire. Krishnadev Rai was the last famous ruler of Vijayanagar Empire. He belonged to Tuluv dynasty. Tuluv dynasty. He was a great general and able administrator. His period is considered the best and the most prestigious period of Tuluv dynasty. He had a group of eight celebrated intellectuals known as Ashtadiggaj. So these Ashtadiggaj, as they are celebs of that kingdom, we can imagine that they are the most special persons in their own fields. So those people were known as Ashtadiggaj, and those people are 8 in number. The rulers of Vijayanagar were mostly involved in battles with the Bahmani kingdom. As we have seen in Bahmani kingdom in the map, they were militarily stronger than Bahmanis. The main reason for the conflict was domination on Raichur Doab, which was a very rich and fertile area. Domingo Pease from Portugal and Abdul Razak from Persia and other foreign visitors have written a lot in the praise of administration and flourishing trade of Vijayanagar. So these two historians of that very period, one is Portuguese, was named Domingo Pease from Portugal, and the second was Abdul Razak from Persia. So these two people written along with another foreign visitors also, they have written a lot in praise of the administration and flourishing trade of Vijayanagar. Let's know about the administration. So the head of the state was the king. He ruled with the help of a council which included eminent nobles appointed by him. The king was the chief administration, army and judiciary. So the chief of administration means the main administrator was the king himself, because he had a full command on army, administration and judiciary. The council could advise the king, but the king was not bound to act upon it. So the whole and soul was the king at that time, and the administration of the Vijayanagar Empire was centralized to the king, because the most powerful fields like administration, army and judiciary was totally in the hand of the king, and he was not bound to take advice of their nobles. So that the king was whole and soul, and the coins of that period indicate that the king followed Vaishnavism, means the religion followed by the king was Vaishnavism. Do you know the empire was divided into provinces for efficient administration? Let's know about the empire and the division. Rajyas means provinces. Kottam means district. Nadu means group of villages. Gram means village. Now these two pictures of the two coins shows the religion as well as the king. king's sign on the coin. Vaishnavism was the main religion of the people also. There was a well-organized revenue system, and land revenue was the main source of state's income, along with the custom duty, grazing tax, marriage tax, etc. The motto of Vijayanagar kings was protect the good and punish the wicked. So this was the main thing at that time, to protect the good and punish the wicked. So the most popular religion of that period was Vaishnavism, and the tax, the well-organized revenue system, the land tax was the main source of income. The different duties are custom duty and grazing tax, then marriage tax, etc. Now let's know about the society and culture of Vijayanagar Empire. The society was mainly divided into 3 classes. Normally the classes are divided into 4 or 2, but here the society was mainly divided into 3 classes. Let's know the classes. Those classes were the nobles, the high officials, big traders, and the middle class, and the commoners also. Society was governed by Varna system. About Varna system we have already learned before in North India. So that in Varna system we are already knowing that about the Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and the Shudras. So here Brahmins enjoy a respectable position. The women were respected in the society. They were educated and well versed in Sanskrit and local languages. So the big thing in Vijayanagar Empire is the education of women. Those were also very respected in the society because of they were educated and well versed in Sanskrit and local languages also. They were also given training in dance and music. Polygamy exists among the rich, but the common people had only one wife. Polygamy we have already learned before. Keeping more than one wife, that is called polygamy. That exists among the rich, but not in the common people. Sati system and child marriage were also prevalent. So these are some social evils we can see, that sati system and child marriage were also prevalent at that time. There were devdasis in the temples for performing puja. Education was mainly imparted in temples and mathas, which were given grants by the king. Sayana was the great scholar of Sanskrit. So Sayana was as great that he is learned in the history. He was the great scholar of Sanskrit in Vijayanagar Empire. He wrote commentaries on the Vedas. Mahanavami festival was celebrated with great joy and enthusiasm. Hindus dominated the population, but people of other religion also lived in peace and harmony. Let's know about the art and architecture of this Vijayanagar Empire. Vijayanagar had many beautiful palaces and temples. Let's have a look on this given picture. This is Virupaksh temple at Vijayanagar. Vitthal Swami and Virupaksh are the most famous temples. So these two temples belong to God Vishnu. It is said that the city was surrounded by 7 walls, large pillared halls known as Kalyan Mandap, and very high gateways were known as Gopuram. Those are some of the silent features of these temples. Life-size statues means big statues. Life-size statues of kings and queens are the finest example of the art of sculpture. Now let's know about the languages. So Sanskrit, Telugu, Tamil and Kannada languages are very famous and their literature is valuable. Their literature is the valuable contribution of this period. So the most famous languages at that time were Sanskrit, Telugu, Tamil and Kannada. And their literatures are also very valuable contribution of this period. So children, we have just now completed the Vijayanagar Empire. Now the next kingdom is Bahmani kingdom. Bahmani kingdom. In 1347 CE, Hasan Gangu, an officer of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, assumed the title of Alauddin Hasan Bahman Shah and established a Bahmani kingdom. He divided his kingdom into 4 tarafs: Gulbarg, Daulatabad, Berar and Bidar. Children, let's have a look on the map where this Bahmani kingdom is situated. Yes, here it is. This is Bahmani kingdom. So that it has been established by Alauddin Hasan Bahman Shah, who was the officer of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Actually, his real name was Hasan Gangu, and he assumed the title of Alauddin Hasan Bahman Shah and established a kingdom named Bahmani. He divided his kingdom into 4 tarafs or provinces named Gulbarg, Daulatabad, Berar and Bidar. Bahmani dynasty ruled for about 175 years under 18 rulers. So under 18 rulers, this dynasty ruled for about 175 years. And the most famous ruler was Firoz Shah Bahmani, who ruled from 1397 CE to 1422 CE. He was a very learned man. He was a good calligraphist and composed verses in Arabic, Persian, Marathi, Telugu and Kannada. So among those 18 rulers, Firoz Shah Bahmani was the most famous ruler of this kingdom. He was a learned man, was a good calligraphist also. He composed verses also in Arabic, Persian, Marathi, Telugu and Kannada. Firoz Shah wanted to make Deccan a cultural center of India. Many learned men and scholars came there from different parts of India and abroad also. He built an observatory in Daulatabad. Look at the fort of Daulatabad. Observatory were made to observe the nearby regions. So this is the Daulatabad fort. Firoz Shah inducted Hindus in his administration. Do you know Ahmad Shah's grandson Humayun was called Jalim Humayun, as he was a cruel and merciless ruler. Okay. He had to leave the throne to his brother Ahmad Shah, who transferred his capital from Gulbarg to Bidar. During 1463 to 81 CE, Mahmud Gawan was the prime minister, but in reality, he controlled the entire administration of this Bahmani empire. The kingdom was divided into 8 tarafs now. Under tarafdars, the salaries and the perks were fixed for each noble. Salaries were paid in cash or in the form of Jagir. Jagir means provinces. Gawan built a great madrasa or college in Bidar, that is shown in the given picture. The building was beautifully decorated with tiles. At that time, that educational building was decorated with tiles. It could accommodate 1000 students and teachers. The Bahmani kingdom was a cultural bridge between North and South India. So these are the 2 empires about which we learned today. And let me go back to highlight those things which we have to memorize. First of all, the name of these regional powers. The names are Vijayanagar, Bahmani, Ahom, Mewar, Marwar and Kashmir. Now let me highlight the things you have to memorize. The first line, Vijayanagari kingdom was founded by the two sons of Sangam, Harihar and Bukka, and Bukka succeeded his brother Harihar in 1356 CE. Then again, in the second phase, Devrai I and the Devrai II were the famous rulers of Vijayanagar, and the last famous ruler of Vijayanagar was Krishna Devrai along with his chief minister named Tenali Rama. Then comes the 8 celebrities or intellectuals of this dynasty were called Ashtadiggaj. One more thing is to be memorized, that Raja Krishna Dev Rai or King Krishna Dev Rai belonged to Tuluv dynasty. So the main religion, let's go to the administration first. The king was the main administrator because of his command on administration, army and judiciary. Now comes the religion. Vaishnavism was the main religion of that time, and the motto of Vijayanagar kings was protect the good and punish the wicked. Then comes the society, in which we got that the women were well educated, but the social evils like polygamy, sati system and child marriage were also prevalent at that time. Then where does that education were provided? That time education was mainly imparted in temples and mathas, and the grants were provided by the kings. Sayana was the great scholar of Sanskrit. Then comes the art and architecture. Now the very well known thing at that time was the Kalyan Mandap, means large pillared halls. Those were known as Kalyan Mandap, and the very high gateways were called Gopuram at that time. Now comes the language to memorize. The language relevant at that period were Sanskrit, Telugu, Tamil and Kannada language, and their literature is valuable contribution of this period also, means literary works were also available of that time. Now comes the Bahmani kingdom. So who was the founder? The founder was the great Hasan Gangu, was the officer of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and he again assumed the title. The new title was Alauddin Hasan Bahman Shah. So this Bahmani dynasty ruled for about 175 years under 18 rulers, and the famous king among them was Firoz Shah Bahmani. He was a good calligraphist, and he also composed verses in Arabic, Persian, Marathi, Telugu and Kannada. So that then comes the main thing of this Bahmani kingdom is to provide education. That is, Mahmud Gawan built a great madrasa or college in Bidar, and the building was beautifully decorated with tiles at that time. It could accommodate 1000 students and teachers. Means this kingdom focused on education also. The Bahmani kingdom was a cultural bridge between North and South India. So these things are to be remembered